I know I've said it before, but it's hard to believe that each episode of The Acolyte costs on average almost $22 million.
That's only mine, honey.
And after this the sixth episode, it's really hard to believe that.
I don't believe it.
In the last episode, we actually got some action. I mean, it was, it wasn't the best lightsaber fighting ever, but it was at least some lightsaber fighting. We got some action. But now we switched to one that, kind of adheres to that old line from Seinfeld.
The show is about nothing.
Well, it's not totally nothing, but honestly, just a real waste of 30 minutes. We pick up this episode right where we left off the last time. This is now the Star Wars version of the Parent Trap, Jedi Master, Sith Master Trap, I guess, where Mae has switched places with Osha.
Where's her sister?
She's gone.
The one thing I really want to talk about before I get into each of the Abe and the Bee story is just the timing of this episode. It's important to note that basically all the action in this episode is taking place simultaneously. That means, all at the same time. It's not like, one is a day ahead of the other, that sort of thing. Everything we see with Mae and Sol, with Osha and Kamir, and with Vernestra is all literally within a couple hours of each other. And the reason I think this annoys me is literally we're talking a planet Kofar, which is all the way across the galaxy from Coruscant. It takes forever to get there, but they get there instantaneously. And somehow, when we first see Osha and Sol Osha and Kamir wherever they are, it's all at the same time. So how the heck did they get to wherever they are at the same time that Sol and Mae are leaving the planet? None of the timing makes sense. That really annoyed me in this episode. Perhaps even more so than just the annoyance of this episode being really a whole waste of time filler episode.
Everything else was just filler.
All right, so let's talk about the individual stories here. Let's first start with Mae and Sol. We see them leaving Kofar, and Sol at this point doesn't appear to know that Mae is disguising herself as Osha. Sol tries to communicate with the Jedi Council to let them know that their mission failed, that everyone was killed, but he can't quite get a signal through. Actually, at first I thought maybe Mae had done something to the ship to disable the comms. That would make sense. But nope, that's not what happened. Maybe it's because Kofar, like I said, is on the outer rim, and Coruscant is a core world, very distant, so maybe it's difficult getting communications. That's a possibility, right? Nope, not that either. It's basically just a plot convenience. Yeah, that's right, plot convenience. Just to delay us from knowing what happened 16 years ago on Brendak, whatever secret Sol is hiding. We're just going to delay that a little bit longer.
What's the point in delaying? How long have you delayed already?
It seems like there's something that always interrupts Sol from telling the whole story this entire episode. It happens more than once. The ship randomly loses power, comms go out, comms come back on, power comes back on. Something always happens to interrupt Sol from explaining this big mystery. And then in the end, when he figures out that it's Mae, not Osha, he stuns her and promises to tell her what happened. And that's when the episode ends.
So you're going to listen.
Yeah. So they're just dragging this out. This again, another episode that can be done in half the time. But for some reason, they belabor this. I guess this is what Leslye Headland thinks storytelling is: creating mystery, creating atmosphere. No, this is just annoying. Another thing was annoying, this attempt at comedy in this episode. Comedy is not something unusual to Star Wars. They've always had some light element of comedy. But this one here, it involves Basil. Remember our little beaver otter friend? He's already sniffed out that Mae is disguising herself as Osha and decides to confront Osha in the engine room. I don't know what this weird little fighting stance is. I guess it's like some sort of form of haka, you know, the Maori fighting performance. That's what it reminded me of, honestly. But after he does that, he basically just goes and humps her leg.
Hey, relax, hey, whoa, relax, okay?
Yeah, then he takes off, and then that's kind of it for him. He shows up later on, but that's kind of it. Like I say, Star Wars has always had some humor into it, but this was just dumb. Just flat out dumb. And now, of course, we get to the sexually creepy part of this episode, and that's something I never actually thought I'd say ever watching Star Wars. We see Osha waking up on an unknown planet. We know it's an unknown planet because that actually says unknown planet. Honestly, kind of reminds me of Octo from Last Jedi, but if it was, they'd probably say it was. Anyway, she wakes up, finds herself what appears to be in Kamir's lair, and she walks out and finds him walking on the beach. Now, it turns out Kamir is actually going to take a dip. That's right. And to take a dip, that means you got to take off your clothes. And as we all know, in George Lucas's universe of Star Wars, there's no underwear in space.
You can't wear a bra underneath that dress. So I say, why? He says, because there's no underwear in space.
Yeah, so Kamir strips naked and walks into the water. And I think we should remember that Star Wars is actually a show for kids. Yeah, it's enjoyable by adults. But it is actually a show made for kids.
You know, it's hard for people to realize, and I'm not supposed to say this, and I wasn't supposed to say it then, but, you know, it's a film for 12-year-olds.
Well, while Kamir's taking his skinny dip, Osha takes the opportunity to arm herself with his lightsaber, but Kamir knows she's there.
How does it feel?
Pretty certain this is a euphemism for something else, but ultimately Kamir says, you know, if you're not going to join me for a dip, he's going to get out, and that's what he does. Yeah, so we now have fully naked Kamir standing in front of Osha, and oh yeah, she takes a peek.
If it's honorable to kill me like this.
Again, I say, remember, Star Wars is for kids. Not certain what Leslye Headland thinks is for kids, but I honestly feel like she's recreating a scene of her former boss, you know, meeting some young actress about a role in one of his movies.
I understood that reference.
And if that wasn't enough of the awkward and the creepiness between Osha and Kamir, it just continues throughout this episode. You know, basically he's trying to act this. It's like a bad CW romance show. You know, he's trying to act all mysterious and moody and sexy and just like, yeah, let me tell you about the dark side. Yeah, because you see, he's trying to seduce her to the dark side. That's what he's doing. And I really think Leslye Headland has misconstrued the famous quote from Obi-Wan.
Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
All these scenes between Osha and Kamir are just filled with such inappropriate sexual tension in a Star Wars show.
Isn't this a kid's show?
I mean, yeah, we've had romance in Star Wars before. That's fine. I mean, Han and Leia, Anakin and Padme, but this is just so blatantly sexual.
Way too sexual.
Wow. Not only is it just totally inappropriate for Star Wars, it makes no sense. Literally, just just before they got to the planet, Osha saw Kamir kill a bunch of Jedi, including two of her so-called friends, Yord, who she remembered as when she was a Padawan, and her new friend Jecki. He pincushioned Jecki, and then he snapped Yord's neck. You would think this would make her want to kill him, right? And she even has a chance. Kamir gets her angry enough that she lunges at him with his own lightsaber. But then she backs off. Yeah, she doesn't know anything about it. The murderer who killed two of her friends and a bunch of Jedi, she backs off. Why? I guess because he's just so damn hot and sexy. Seriously, this is the fracking bad guy, guys. Come on, Leslye. He's killed Jedi. He's killed her friends. Even tried to kill her, for God's sakes. But now she's into him? Is this what we're supposed to believe? She's sitting around his lair, having soup with him, learning about how cortosis, what it does, and that she can expand her use of the Force or something by putting the helmet on, gaining a new perspective.
What the hell is going on?
The way these characters are portrayed in this show just is very sloppy and doesn't make sense. It's just bad writing. I mean, don't forget, previously, we saw Mae about to change sides. She was going to turn herself into the Jedi. And then, she gets into a fight with Jecki in the last episode. She turns against Kamir once he reveals, he's the Sith. And then she decides to switch places with Osha. I don't know, to kill Sol. She no longer wants to turn herself into the Jedi. And now I guess she wants to kill Sol again? Kill all the Jedi? Is that what it is? I don't know. Now here, Osha, her motivation's all over the place. I don't know what the hell she wants. Suddenly she says she left the Jedi because she's a failure.
Why aren't you a Jedi, Osha?
Because I failed!
I don't know where the hell that came from. That was out of nowhere. She's sitting around having soup and talking with the guy who's a clear murderer, killed her friends, and now she's interested in exploring a new side of the Force. These motivations are insane. These characterizations are insane. Not only do these twins, share a hairstyle, I guess they share just, completely inconsistent characterization throughout this whole show.
The inconsistencies are so compounded.
Now, of course, you can't talk about this episode without the coolest thing ever, the lightsaber whip or the light whip or whatever the hell we're calling it. It's a thing, whatever. It's been around before Disney took over Star Wars. I think it's stupid. I don't think it makes much sense, but whatever. It doesn't really affect my opinion of the show overall. The only purpose it serves here is to suggest that Kamir, who revealed that he was once a Jedi.
You speak as if you were a Jedi.
I was. A long time ago.
May have been Vernestra's Padawan. And it was she that gave him the scars on his back. So I guess, I guess we got another mystery to be solved.
Hey, this mystery is really getting mysterious.
For me, the real mystery is what is the purpose of this show? What are we doing here? I mean, we were led to believe this is all about who's killing Jedi.
Last night, a Jedi was murdered.
But that mystery was solved in the first episode. We instantly find out it's Mae, right? So that mystery's done. We're done with that. I guess now the mystery is what did the Jedi do to the space witches? Is that it? Ultimately, this whole show is just really showing that Jedi are bad. We're deconstructing the Jedi as heroes. And this is not surprising. It's not surprising. We have to remember that Leslye Headland enjoyed The Last Jedi very much, and apparently she's also a Reylo fan, which explains the weird romance between Osha and Kamir. God forbid we have any shows with heroes anymore. Let's not do that. Let's just rip everything apart for some weird narrative or social construct or whatever the hell they're trying to do. Just tell a story. Please just tell a good story that doesn't make us, have to think about modern day politics or society. That's why we love Star Wars. Go to a place a long time ago in a galaxy far away. That's what it was for. Just to forget about this and enjoy whole new universe. But, guess we can't do that. Can't do that. Not now. Not with Disney Star Wars. Anyway, we got 2 more episodes left, which probably the next one's gonna be the flashback episode where we see why the Jedi are all bad. Somehow, I guess they're gonna wrap it up in these 2 episodes. I don't know. Leslye Headland says she's got plans for additional seasons, but I don't know if she should hold her breath on that one. We'll have to see. Anyway, questions, comments, witticisms down below. Click all those good buttons. I'll see you guys next time.